Ladies and gentlemen, it's an absolute pleasure, and in fact, to introduce Dr. Jha for today's session. We have been always saying that if you want to understand a career, academia and an industry are the two best places to go. And today we have Dr. Jha, who's actually a combination of both. Dr. Jha has spent upbeam amount of years of, brings in experience, leadership experience in industry. He's worked in some of the marquee companies like Amul and moved to academia. He's currently the director of academics at Universal Business School. Trust me, if you want to understand the fundamentals, here is a gentleman with years of experience, dozens of entrepreneurs that he's seen in the making or has helped in making. Without taking much time, sir, I will request you to take the stage.
Thank you, Arun, for a very warm introduction. Frankly, students, I'm very happy to address you today on a very interesting topic of entrepreneurship and startups. I don't know how many of you are want to be a startup because you want to be a startup. You want to be a startup because maybe you feel everybody else wants to be an entrepreneur today, and therefore you're joining the bandwagon. Please don't become an entrepreneur because the whole world is talking about it, and don't do something because somebody else is doing it. That's the first thing I'll tell you here. Everything is good in life. Working in a job is also good. Becoming an entrepreneur is also equally fun and interesting. But what do you want to do? Have you ever asked yourself? Have you looked within yourself? What do you want to do? Do you want to be a person from in e-commerce? Want to do something in something social? You want to help the poor? Want to improve education in the rural India? Do you want to work on health? Have you ever think about it? Just think about it. Have you thought of these areas? This can only happen. Yeah, I know, Mohit, I know. This can only, because what I'm trying to say, I don't want to give you a lecture here. I don't want to give you a lecture here. I want to tell you the reality. The reality is, for anything to do, you got to know enough. Unless you know, what should I do? How will you know it? Till you read about it, till you understand anything about it. Don't rush into something just because somebody is doing it. I'm telling you something which is very, very real today in today's world, and something which you must keep in mind today. How many of you have? I'm just putting this 4-letter word called VUCA. How many of you heard? Can you put your answers in chat box? Just put your answers in chat box. How many of you have you heard the term called VUCA? Hello, are you there? Put your answers in chat box, guys. Anybody? No, I'm asking people who have heard. No, please keep shooting your answers. Whatever you have, if you don't know, doesn't matter. Just put your answers. Whatever. No. Yeah. Go ahead. I want 188 answers. I want 188 people who are sitting there. All of you, shoot. Now, do you imagine today, this word VUCA is the most talked about? Yeah, Harneet, you're very close. Good. At least you are somewhere. But that's not enough. Okay, you are there, but not there again. Almost there, but not there. Jamshed. Good. I'm very happy that today at least you're acknowledging, and that is the first thing you must keep in mind, is to acknowledge that I don't know everything. I cannot know everything at all. VUCA was a word coined by, yeah, good, very good, Mahima, very good. I'm glad. I hope it's not a Google answer. As long as it's not a Google answer, I'm fine with it. Mahima, very good. Very good, Mahima. The point I'm trying to tell you here is this word, this four-letter word, VUCA, was coined in 2000 in America in early 90s in the American War of Independence. And the American soldiers coined this term. And this four-letter word stands for, as Mahima clearly answered, volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. You know, the world has changed today. All the courses, all the knowledge people had earlier, is become irrelevant today. The things you thought were good are not around today. How many of you thought pandemic will happen? Did you ever imagine that we'll have pandemic? Tell me how many of you thought about it? Right. No one thought about it. Now what do you do? What do you do now? Are you going to get it erased from your life ever? No, you can't. It was a disruptive action happened. The life got disrupted totally. And that is the way life is going to be in future also. Don't think that today's pandemic, tomorrow could be something else. That's the reality of life. So what happens? No, something else will happen, Zeba. Zeba, what I'm going to tell you here is something else may happen. Something else. What I'm trying to tell you here is be prepared for it. Anything. Could be anything. I don't know. I wish I knew the answer. I wish I knew the answer. The reality is that you have to be prepared for any situation in life today, regardless of whatever is there. Companies who were ready, companies who were prepared, did not get affected during pandemic. They grew, and they are still growing. They're growing the fastest today even in today's scenario. You know it. Today you had some lot of sessions from experts who are talking to you. They're telling you about it. So the point here is today that what is more relevant to know is the most important part. Life will remain volatile. Life will remain uncertain. Life will remain ambiguous and complex. You have to decide where do you fit in and how do you fit in there. What is your interest? And you have to keep one more thing in mind. You cannot be conventional anymore. You have to be also disruptive in your approach. You cannot tell your father, I want to do graduation and I want to do 3-year graduation. What is the relevance of that? What is the relevance of that graduation? Is it going to get you something? Knowledge? I don't know. Is that graduation going to get you something? So whatever you do today has to be relevant. Relevant tomorrow is the most important part. Whatever you do today needs to be relevant tomorrow. If it is not relevant tomorrow, don't do it. Don't do it at all. And I think I'm going back to the first point I told you all. Do it because you want to do it. Not because your father says, because somebody gave a talk, and therefore I must do this. Is it something you want to do? It has to come from the heart. Are you passionate about it? Sachin Tendulkar didn't become a cricketer because his father told him become a cricketer. He didn't do his MBA. He didn't do his coding. He didn't do anything at all. But does he need to do it? What he did? He worked hard. He practiced every day. He did what he wanted to do, and he did what he was good at. That was the most important thing. And he was committed. He was sincere. He worked very, very hard for it. Right? That is the most important thing. Please understand one thing today. There are so many options you'll get today. So many. Every day you'll hear somebody's talk. You'll hear somebody's suggestion. Hey, beta ye kar lo. Beta ye kar lo. Beta wo kar lo. What do you want to do? And what is your skill? What is your strength? How many of you know your SWOT? Have you done your SWOT, all of you? Do you know what SWOT is? Do you know what SWOT stands for? Yeah, what is SWOT stand for? Yeah, Shantanu, have you done your SWOT? Do it. If you don't know what SWOT stands for, learn it. Find out what is a SWOT, and then work on your SWOT. Look at what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, and based on your strengths, what are the opportunities you will get, and based on your weaknesses, what are the threats you will face in the market, in the world today. This is the most important thing. As a young person in today's India, you should analyze your own self today and find out, am I ready? किसी ने कुछ कह दिया, हम वो कर लेंगे, कल जाके वो पसंद नहीं आया, कुछ और कर लेंगे, ये पसंद नहीं आया, कुछ और कर लो. Time is very, very important. Time is not going to stay with you. Today's time, 6:25, today's date of 19th January will be over. And only when you know your strengths, when you know your, and therefore the guys, most important is know your weaknesses first. Know your weaknesses. That's very, very important. Don't run away to admit your weakness. Don't. Don't. The problem with us today is we think we are perfect. We think we know everything. We think everything is like this child's play. It's not. Learn to accept your weakness first. Learn to first accept I don't know. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. Doesn't matter at all. All of us have not learned everything in one year or 2 years or maybe a few years. It takes years to learn something. It also, you learn by experience. You learn after failing. How many of you failed in your exam? How many of you failed? Me. Are you ashamed, Gautam, for having failed in the exam? Did you become, did people make comments at you? Your father got angry at you? What happened, Deepak? Kya ho gaya? Have you lost everything in life? What happened when you failed? What was your reaction when you failed? What happened? Anger. Nothing much. Did you learn from your failure? That's my point. Be ready to fail, but did you learn from your failure? Yeah, that's the most important thing. Have the heart to fail. Have the guts to fail. Only, and then at the same time, have the ability to learn from your failure. Don't repeat that's right. Somebody mentioned I worked harder. That's the point. You have to work. Once you know what your weakness is, what you are not good at, next is improvement. Next is going forward. So therefore, don't worry. In India, Steve Jobs, let's forget, in India, a lot of people have failed as entrepreneurs, but they've come back stronger. Steve Jobs, all of you have Apple with you today, and all of you have Apple in your pocket today. The man who created that's right, Aman, very good. You come back stronger. You come back very solid because you don't want to then fail because you learned the hard way. You learned the hard way. You have been in a question, you have been asked how you became a failure. Doesn't matter. All of us know. All of us in life have failed somewhere down the line. But the point today is learn from your failures. That's the critical part. And entrepreneurs who don't learn from their failures, they can never succeed. They can never. There'll be failures in the long run too. And I've seen so many entrepreneurs who have made the same mistakes again and again. And therefore they are history today. All of them are history today. They're not there in the space. So learn from your mistakes, fail, have the guts to fail. Don't worry about failing. But one important thing keep in mind is learn from your failure. Learn and don't repeat the mistake again. Friends, the important part for an entrepreneur to keep in mind, firstly, you should know, do you want to be an entrepreneur at all or not? Don't become an entrepreneur because the world is making it. Don't force yourself. There'll be a lot of seminars, a lot of webinars. Just because there's a webinar, I don't want to become an entrepreneur. Does it I mean, do I have it in me? Do I possess all those qualities? Do I have the heart to take failure? If I can't take failure, I'm weak-hearted. It's not for you. It's not for weak-hearted people or weak-hearted young guys who are around. No, you got to be strong. You got to have, yeah, very good. You got to be very, very, very patient. Patience is the only way will take you far. You will have to be patient. A lot of entrepreneurs today rush. They want to do a lot of things together. Too many options. ये भी करना है, वो भी करना है, ये भी करना है. नहीं चलेगा. Focus is the key. Please focus. You have to focus on one important area. What do you want to do? And stick to it. Work on it. Develop it. Give it all the possible support. Guys, it's a beautiful thing to. I've been an entrepreneur at a much later age in my life. It was very tough. It was very tough. But I enjoyed that part. You know why? Because I learned from my mistake. And I enjoyed that journey. I was very passionate about my business. There was a self-belief. When you start some idea, you will have 10 people who will tell you, अरे बेकार है, छोड़ दो, क्या कर रहे हो तुम, waste, बेकार है. It's not worth it, don't do it. They will discourage you. They will try to bring you down. You have to have the self-belief in your idea, in your own self. So no, I cannot go wrong. Sorry, Tosif, I'll come to that later. Let me finish, then I'll come to that question later. So, coming back to the point here, is that have a self-belief in yourself. If you're passionate about your idea, I hope you know what passion is. If you're passionate about your idea, be passionate. It's your idea. Don't give it up. Just because somebody says, your dad says tomorrow, your mother says tomorrow, बेटा क्या कर रहा है तू? छोड़ दे हमारे बिजनेस में आ जा, नौकरी कर ले यार, नौकरी कर ले. इसका क्या भरोसा, कल बंद हो जाएगा. You have to understand one thing. It is you have to believe in your idea yourself. You have to make it happen. And my dear friends, it will happen. See, today, nothing today, if you see, look around today, how have entrepreneurs succeeded? Because they believed in their idea. They gave it 100%. They went and gave it 100%. They learned about the product more as they moved forward. And they made it happen. So you have to go into the depth of the matter. Very, very important today. What you have to understand today, as far as entrepreneurs is concerned, entrepreneurs don't look at the other side. When they make money, when they grow big, when they create a brand. You have to understand one thing. You got to have a good team of people. You cannot become an entrepreneur alone. You have to have a team, a good, solid team. Because entrepreneurship, most entrepreneurs fail. But you know why? They don't have a good team. Because entrepreneurship requires marketing, it requires production, it requires distribution, logistics, it requires money, finance, right? It requires HR. You have to recruit good people, good employees. Absolutely, Subhashri, very good. You got to be a strong leader. You cannot panic. You cannot give up. You cannot. You have to have the maturity to lead a team of people. You have to have maturity. And most entrepreneurs fail in this area. Why? Because they don't have a team. They panic. And they are not aware of a lot of functions like marketing, branding, digital marketing. They're not aware of these things. They have a very good idea and they don't have a team. They want to do everything themselves. It will not work. It will not work because you cannot do everything yourself. The success of an entrepreneur is based on the team. If you start with the job experience, that will take a lot of time. It doesn't take a lot of time, my dear friend, Dia. It doesn't take a lot of time. You don't need to have a job. You have to understand, know about it. You have to read it, understand, read, practical. See, you have to understand, please understand one thing. You have to give people the confidence. When you recruit a team of people, you have to let them work. You have to let them do what they want. Don't interfere. If you're an entrepreneur and if you recruit me as your marketing person, let me do my job. Don't interfere because you don't know marketing. I know. Therefore, I'm here. So a good entrepreneur who recruits a good team and lets the team do what they are supposed to do. You don't have to get into the team's functions. What will happen then? Then obviously the team will get disoriented, will get defocused, and you will not achieve your objective very clearly. So a good team, and trust your team. Most entrepreneurs fail because they don't trust each other. There's a lot of lack of trust. You're very worried. पता नहीं क्या होगा, वो भाग जाएगा, पैसा लेके भाग जाएगा, वो करके भाग जाएगा. ये ऐसा नहीं होता है. If you are taking a person to, if you're taking a partner or taking a team member to work in your company, give the person enough time. Don't jump. Don't expect magic. Don't expect magic to happen overnight. Also, as I said, patience is the word. Give yourself enough time for the product to grow. A baby grows, takes 9 months for a baby to grow in a mother's womb, doesn't it? Can the baby become a man in 1 month? But that's what some entrepreneurs expect. They expect to grow in one year. How can you grow in 1 year? How can you? Give yourself, there is a certain time frame required for a product or for the idea to be accepted in the marketplace, for people to try, for people to give you a feedback. And what happened, I have seen majority of times, an entrepreneur faces a lot of difficulty at the beginning because it's not the same. The reality is different. What you may think is different and the reality is far more different. And unless you face the reality, you will not be able to realize what exactly is in store for you. So once you face the reality, then you understand how you need to modify your ideas, how you need to change your strategy. Okay. Yes, Salman, yes. Good. I like the way you guys keep commenting. Very good. One very important part I'll tell you with the entrepreneurs to keep in mind is, most entrepreneurs don't know about IPR, patent, registration. These ideas, these things, these terms are not even, you're not familiar with. Now, IPR is something, you don't register your brand or your company or your packaging or whatever you do in the company, if you have a new idea, patent, please get it registered. So nobody else can tomorrow duplicate the product tomorrow. Otherwise, you lose your advantage of being something new. You see, when you want to be a successful entrepreneur, you have to be an innovator. You have to be an innovator. Something new. And entrepreneurship and innovation go together. If you're not an innovator, if you're not going to do something new, nobody else has done, or you are doing something great, you will not get royalty if you don't get it patented. If you patent, then you may get, somebody may take it from you, license from you, then you will get royalty. Understand? Royalty तभी मिलता है जब तुम्हारा ब्रांड पेटेंटेड है या रजिस्टर्ड है और तुमसे कोई लेगा, यूज करेगा, you will give a license to that particular company. A lot of companies give licenses. Walt Disney gave a license. They have licenses all over the world and they make royalty on that. McDonald's has given a franchisee in India and they're making royalty. So if you're not registered, if you're not done a registration of your business or your idea of your brand, you will not get royalty because you're not registered, legally not valid. So legal awareness is also equally important. Or you have a team member who's legally aware to guide you on matters of legal. So I was saying these are all areas what an entrepreneur needs to be aware of. See, it's very easy to say, I'll become an entrepreneur. But my dear friends, becoming an entrepreneur and succeeding is a very important thing. You have to succeed. You cannot venture into something and today and do a half baked effort and then you expect these things to work for you. It will not work. One of the most important things you have to keep as an entrepreneur, to be an entrepreneur, you have to keep in mind is you'll have a lot of these parental pressures today. How many of your parents love the idea that you want to be an entrepreneur? How many of your parents, Gautam, will launch a token? Okay, yeah, Mohammed. No, but does your parent Mohammed, does your father, mother back your idea? Mohammed. I'm asking how many of your parents support? You haven't told them. Why? But tell me, have you realized why parents don't back you up? Well, okay, no, risk, yeah, okay, okay. You know why? Because parents are belong to a different generation today. Entrepreneurship is of a different generation altogether. In India, no, that's fine, my dear friend. Subhashri, the point is, please ask them very clearly, are they happy you being an entrepreneur or taking up a job somewhere? Because this is something you have to break that mindset. You have to believe, make them believe. You have to make them believe that what you're doing is you're doing it for yourself. See, ultimately, what will happen? You will take a job, you're not happy, you will just do it for the namesake, you will just work. How does it matter? Being an entrepreneur is such a wonderful feeling. It's your own company, it's your own idea. But as I said very clearly in the beginning, that it is not something very easy. It's not meant for weak-hearted young people. It's meant for strong people. It's meant for people who are ready to fail, who are ready to take failure in that stride. My dear friends, failure is something you'll have to face. I can tell you right now. Do you have it in you to fail? If you don't have it in you, forget about it. It's not your cup of tea. That is the most important thing. Keep in mind. To fail, to be ready to fail. That I'm not scaring you. Huh? I'm making you feel real here today. That failure is something. No, it's not a question of every career, Divya. In entrepreneurship, failure is something. Yeah, good, Deepak. I'm happy. It's good to say, and you have to also practice it. Why I'm saying today, things will change very fast. A lot of things you may decide to do today, it may take you time. By the time you launch your product or an idea, 6 months down the line, somebody else has launched it. Don't think your idea is unique. While you think about an idea, there are 100 people thinking of the same idea. You know why? Therefore, you have to execute on time. Don't be in a hurry to be the first one. This is another mistake people make when they want to be entrepreneurs. You know why? आओ जल्दी आ जाओ कोई आ जाएगा आने दो let somebody come अगर कोई और भी आता है आने दो what is the most important is be the best in the business if you are the best in the business it doesn't matter कोई कितने लोग आगे जाए if you remember in the Indian market e-commerce there were how many brands were there in the market e-commerce there were hundreds there's so many brands every nick and corner there were brands who were there. Mohammed, if you have a vision to launch a token, please learn a lot about it. I don't know how much you know. First, learn about it first. Have full knowledge about it. Only then go ahead and do it. Yeah, good, Jamshed. It is a failure, it is a stepping stone. But that you have to understand. Not many people understand that. They think failure is end of the world. A lot of students think failure is end of the world. They think world has come to an end today because I failed. You see a lot of people who fail in examination, what happens? You know what happens? They think end of the world. Maybe that is not meant for you. You're meant for something else. You get my point. That is what happens. So please, my friends, don't get disheartened of failures. Don't get disheartened. People tell you something. That listen, don't do this, don't do that. If you are very firm in your idea, if you are very firm in your, within you that, okay, I am the one, I am going to do this. Knowledge बढ़ाओ, उसके बारे में सीखो, and believe in your idea, give it time. Yeah, yeah. But then, Jitanshu, is easily said than done when you actually go through failure. I remember when I was an entrepreneur, I didn't have money to pay my salary to people. Yeah, I didn't have. I had to manage somehow. These moments go for an entrepreneur. These are moments they pass through, but you have to hold on to those moments. These are moments that will come and go. But if you give in at that moment, you've lost your entire opportunity. And therefore, you have to make yourself different in terms of your ability to withstand those failures. Okay. So, guys, I'll tell you one thing. The point I'm telling you here, your parents will discourage you. Your uncle will say, don't do this, don't do that. I'm just giving an example. May not be true in every case. And so, therefore, make them believe it. Make them, of course, they are also your parents. They are not your enemies. Make them believe why you're getting into this. And therefore, they must feel that you are serious about it. And they can only feel serious about it. Well, young क्या होता है? What is young, Mohammed? Young कुछ नहीं होता है. Just because you are young today, the idea will be taken by somebody else. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. You have to, as I said one thing, unless you have knowledge, unless you have the ability, give yourself time to be ready for it. A lot of your speakers today have told you about various things today. Learn, सीखो, पढ़ो, meet people, ask, get to know from them. You got to build your network of people, find out from various circles, and learn from each other. Find out. See, unless you learn, keep your mind open. You have to keep your mind open very, very clearly to learn. Take in ideas, take in feedback. You have to take feedback and take feedback, and feedback sometimes may not be pleasant. They may be very unpleasant feedback. Doesn't matter. Take it. Take it. Feedbacks are very, very important. Very, very, very important. I'll give you my email ID. You can always write to me. There are so many books you can read. Read the Steve Jobs book anyway. How many of you read Steve Jobs book? Read Steve Jobs' story, the whole book. It's a brilliant book to read. And there's another book I'll recommend to you to you guys. If you send me your email ID, I'll leave you behind my email ID. Yeah, you can read Elon Musk. You can read them also. See, read. Reading is something I find today young people don't read enough. Reading has gone off totally out of the window today. Read. Read people's experiences. Yeah, do that. Read, read, read. Please go to the library and look up books and read. Read inspiring books. There are a lot of entrepreneurs who have written books. Read them. Huh? I've told you, read the book on Steve Jobs. That's a very good book to read. Please read it. Yeah, read it. When you're young, Jigasa, how old are you? What do you mean when you're young? There's another book I'll tell you. If you don't get it, please find out what they don't teach you at Harvard Business School. There's a very interesting book. I don't know if you get it nowadays. Okay, then you're very young, Jigyasa. You're not that. Yeah, correct. You can reach me at Karunakar.Jha at ubs.org.in. Okay, keep that in mind. And as I told you one thing, find out there's a book called What They Don't Teach You at Harvard Business School. It's a very interesting book. That's right. There's a book on Steve Jobs. Read that. Read what they don't teach you at Harvard Business School. There are a lot of books I'll recommend, but you must read them. Read them. Very, very important. If you read them, if you read those stories of people, you'll understand what you need to do, how they went about their. Which one? Sushant? The first book was of Steve Jobs and what they don't teach you at Harvard Business School. That's the book. Read it. It's a very interesting book. Okay. is written by the author is somebody who had launched a company called IMG. Yeah, that's right. I think Mr. Arun has shared the name, autobiography of Steve Jobs. Read that. Very, very important. Book reading, you'll say tomorrow, well, it takes few days. What is important here is you'll know how an entrepreneur succeeded. What does an entrepreneur do to become a big, highly successful brand? It's worth it. It's really worth it. It's really worth it. Guys, it's only one life. Make it work. Make it absolutely wonderful. Okay. Of course, you can use the word make it large also. It's up to you. But make it fruitful. Make it worthwhile is more important. Make it worthwhile. I remember a very big entrepreneur. I used to work in a company called Amul. You know, Today all of you have milk today, don't you? Milk is so easily available today. That man started Amul, an idea of getting milk cooperatives of in Gujarat, and today it's become a big brand. So, guys, today I'll tell you one thing. I am a firm believer that any crisis is an opportunity. Any crisis is an opportunity. I'll tell you today that this so-called pandemic crisis is an opportunity for all of you. Don't think that the world has come to an end, things have become difficult. Ideas will happen now. Things will change. Yeah, a lot of new ideas. Did you know ever that mask can be used? Sanitizer could be used? Oh, come on. Who thought about these things? And today it's becoming an industry today. Sanitizers. So there are a lot of opportunities. Don't think narrow, think wide. And as I say, if you read, you'll get more ideas. But once you get idea, focus on your strength. Focus where you think you can do a good job. Focus what will be your interest. You see, what you think you will be interested in. That is important. Once you do that, and then you will realize that, well, who's this? Jigyasa. See, leadership skills and management skills are different. Why? Because in management, it's not only about leadership. In management, it's also about other areas of management. Okay. Whereas in the area of leadership, MS Dhoni was a great leader. All of you watch cricket, all of you watch sports, right? All of you watch IPL, all of you watch various sports. Dhoni was a great leader, right? He was a great leader because he was called Captain Cool. Why was he called Captain Cool? Because he never lost his cool ever, even in tight situations. And therefore, he kept winning every time. Virat Kohli is also a good leader, but he's got a different style. A lot of people don't like him these days because he's losing. That doesn't mean he's a bad leader. You will go through phases in life. Yeah, I mean, everybody's got a different style of working. It's different. They're all different people. He did very well up to a point. Now it's not working. Maybe he has to change his style now, right? Yeah. And Gautam, it is not so. I don't think, see, because technology is an enabler. Please understand one thing. I don't think every entrepreneur is an engineer. Steve Jobs was a school dropout. Bill Gates is a school dropout. Who says they are engineers? There are so many people. There are so many people who are dropouts. Yeah. No, not only Harvard. Steve Jobs was a dropout. Everybody. See, today, these are all, myths which are there in the mind. That you don't have to be. As I said, what you require is basic knowledge. Basic intelligence. Basic. Sometimes as I say, what is important here is your own self-confidence. I have seen a lot of brilliant MBAs lack these qualities. It's not easy. You have to develop these qualities. You have to learn these skills. Today, what is required today is skill, not just knowledge. Only knowledge will not take you far, but skills will take you far. And when you become a leader, somebody asked, Jigyasa asked a question. A leader is somebody who takes his people along with him, is loved by people. Narendra Modi is not a MBA. I don't know how many of you think he's an MBA. He's not an MBA, but he's a leader. He's a Prime Minister of India. People vote for him, don't they? Why? Because he's a good leader. So leadership is not about MBA, not about only having degrees. It's about ability. You got to be a good communicator. How many of you are good communicators? Do you take part in debates? Do you take part in competitions and win prizes? Can you influence people? Yeah. So this is I find this is a very rare quality. When I look around today, I find people are struggling on communication today. They can't speak a word, and that is what you may have a great idea. Oh, thank you, Salman, for so sweet of you to give me a compliment. Uh, that you have to be a good, effective communicator. Bahut. You have to convince today when you are an entrepreneur, you have to go for funding, and there's something called accelerator pitch. You know what is accelerator pitch? I don't know if someone told you during the day about it. I don't know if someone told you about it. Guys, I know it's been a long day, so please bear for some more time. Arun, how much time do we have? Because it's been a long day, I know that. Looks like. So please let me know.
Yes, sir. We are there as
Sorry?
long as kids
No,
are
वो ठीक है,
enjoying
लेकिन
it.
you have to give the kids their free time, evening time. Yeah, they must go and they must be engaged the whole day, I'm sure.
No, we started in the evening. We started at 4. So,
Okay.
but yeah, it's been 3 hours now.
Yeah. So 3 hours for kids to be so patient, I'm really amazed. Oh, wonderful set of kids. Okay, I'll take another 5-10 minutes maximum and I'll wrap up. So guys, somebody said funding. For any business today to create, you need money. And that money, okay, Deepak, I'm glad you're loving it. And please be honest with me. Huh? Don't try to please me, okay? I don't get pleased so easily. Okay, Subhushri. Good. So, funding is something you have to generate money for your business today. And there are venture capitals who will fund you, right? No, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. Who says? There is never have these, don't use these words of inferiority complex and stuff. Don't do that. Don't do that at all. Anyway, coming back to the word of funding. Funding is something you generate from venture capitals. All the venture capitalists, they arrange money for you. Now they arrange money for a business. They look for an idea. They must feel that your idea is great, unique, innovative. Yeah. Excellent. Very good point, Harshali. A good listener can only be a good entrepreneur. Again, very good point you have raised right now. These are the qualities. I'll tell you one thing. Sometimes we forget all these. We think only a degree gets you all these qualities. They don't. That's why I say skills. You must develop skills which are very, very essential for an entrepreneur to succeed in real life today. Right? And I'll tell you one thing very clearly. Shantanu, what is the most important here is, when you are open and when you are going to be, you want to do something different, you'll have a lot of challenges, you'll have a lot of discouragement from people around you because nobody else has seen that idea. किसी को पता ही नहीं है तुम क्या सोच रहे हो. If they don't know what you're thinking about, how will they like it? How will they support it? They will not. Right? So therefore, you have to be confined to yourself and share to people who give you encouragement, who support you, who understand your idea, who understand your thought process very clearly. So funding, when I'm going back to the funding part because I wanted to mention to you something. When you get funding, you have just 2 minutes. That's why the term, if you must read about it, is called accelerator pitch. It is like you meet the venture capitalist in an accelerator. And in the accelerator, you have just 2 minutes with that guy or the person to tell the person about your idea, about your brilliant innovation. In 2 minutes, if you're not able to summarize your idea, your whatever innovation, the person decides, are you there? Are you getting the money or not getting the money? Right? And that is what I mean. So therefore, you must keep one thing in mind. If you're not a good communicator, and if you're not able to communicate your idea effectively in those 2 minutes, what will happen? Gone, out. You lost the opportunity. That's what I meant. So a good communicator, an entrepreneur has to be a good communicator. He has to be. See, only then you will succeed with your team also. When you want to lead a team of successful people, you want to make them succeed, you'll have to talk to them and talk to them effectively in effective communication. You cannot fire your colleagues. You cannot say, tell them right, wrong. You can't use language which is, you know, hurting them. No, no, it's not done. It's not acceptable. The world has changed. The world has changed today. You got to take your people along with yourself. They are your partners. They are your team members. You have to take them along. Listen to them. Listen to them. Hear them out. Spend time with them. Understand their feedback on what they are saying, telling you. Don't bulldoze your idea on others. Don't. Hearing is, as somebody said, listening is important. It is very, very important for you. Very, very important. Got it, point? So, guys, if you see today, whatever sessions you are doing today, whatever you heard today, keep one thing in mind today. The world has changed. VUCA is there to stay. What you have to keep in mind is you are there to succeed. What you are confident not doesn't matter. So what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't make you small if you work under somebody else. If you don't, you learn. In fact, you should always work with somebody. You learn from somebody if you work under somebody. You learn. See, these egos, you can't have an ego and be an entrepreneur. That's the first thing. Keep in mind. Don't have an ego. The word ego has to be out from your dictionary. It shouldn't be there. See, entrepreneurs cannot have ego. Should not have ego. Ego will make you rigid. Will not make you accept ideas from your team members also. See, understand that. So ego has to be out totally. Nothing wrong in working. There's nothing called working under, by the way. Somebody wrote under. Nothing called working under. You work with people. Today, I am working in a business school today. I don't say people work under me. I don't use the word under at all. I say we work as a team together. That's what we do. That's how we enjoy. That's how we talk. We share ideas with each other. Okay. You have to enjoy with each other, not work under each other. That word under suddenly makes. I'm in Universal Business School. Universal Business School is at Karjat. It's the first India's first green bee school. I'm here. All of you are welcome to visit this anytime. You can tell Mr. Arun, he can talk to us. We'll arrange a visit. You can have a wonderful vada pav, and at Karjat is famous for vada pav, and you can visit the business school anytime you want. We can arrange that for you. So, Arun, I think now I'll try to wind up my session. It's been, just outside Mumbai. And well, I said one thing, leadership and management skills are important, but knowledge of what you want to do in business is also important. Very, very important. And students, I'll tell you one thing, you all are wonderful. You are part of a exciting, I wish I was as young as you. There's so much happening in today's world today. I wish I was as young as you are today. You know, you can do wonders today. You can do so much today. But as I said, be patient. Don't run. The world will be a great place. I can say it's a great place anyway. It'll be a beautiful place in the days to come. Be patient, be very clear, be focused. I can tell you one thing, you will succeed no matter what happens, pandemic or no pandemic. I can tell you one thing, it'll make you more aware. It'll make you more aware of what things and what is required today. And that is where the success will come to people who withstand these moments of transition. not who try to look at short-term gains. Okay. Okay, Salman, thank you very much. And thank you, students. You've been wonderful and very patient. I have not come across such wonderful, patient students, so young in age. And thank you, Arun, for inviting me. I was totally unprepared. I had a whole day of session today. Suddenly I had to walk in to your session, but I enjoy. I mean, please feel free anytime. And guys, wish you all the best and God bless you. And hope all of you anytime. You have my email address. If you need anything, please feel free anytime, 24/7. I'll reply to you. Don't worry. God bless you. All the best. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.